Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is I Survived the Attacks of September 11th, 2001. It's a very interesting read. We'll just start off with that. So, it's based on the novel of a New York Times bestselling series by Lauren Tarshis and adapted by Georgia Ball with art by Corey Egbert and colors by Chi Nigo. So yeah, this is it's exactly what you think it would be. So the I Survived series is a series of books. They're being adapted to graphic novels. They're more focused towards young readers, younger kids who are learning about these events, what's going on, stuff like that. So this one obviously is about September 11th. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's not that difficult to figure out. And when I did my weekly preview of this, I said this was going to be a very difficult one to read, and it was. I found myself choking up. I found myself, really having to push myself to get through the pages. It's not a simple read. I mean, let's face it, we have not really ever gotten past the trauma, or a lot of us have not gotten past the trauma of that day. It still brings back probably some PTSD for so many. It doesn't probably. It brings back PTSD for so many. So yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to read. It was difficult for me. There's nothing shocking. There's nothing like graphic in it. I'd say it's probably appropriate for 10 and up, roughly. But it's for parents, adults who lived through it. It definitely brings back the memories. I don't know how kids would react with being detached from it and not having experienced it. So in that sense, there might be it's probably a much easier read for kids. But like as an adult, it's not easy. It was not an easy one. Overall, I mean, it gives a really good sense of what's going on. The story is about a kid whose father is a fireman, and he winds up going down to downtown to take care of the kid. Goes downtown to take care of some business and go see one of his father's friends. And the day just so happens to be September 11th. They witness the attacks, and we go from there. It's kind of done somewhat from that, the kid's perspective, but it really focuses on the firefighters and the first responders and the people who went into the building and who led the charge. And I think it does a really good job of that broad, like what happened. It doesn't go into grisly details. It keeps it, really kind of focused on the, planes hit the building, firefighters went in, the buildings collapsed, people died, and then back matter material, and people were impacted by it and affected greatly. And the back material goes on a little bit more into detail: who attacked, what was the response, but really keeps it also focused to the war in Afghanistan, and keeps it more to the facts. There's not much, and even then, very broad facts. It doesn't talk about our success and failures in Afghanistan. Doesn't talk, it says, soon we'll be pulling out, but doesn't really go into the details of that. It keeps it very much like, we attacked, we declared war in Afghanistan at this point. Bin Laden was captured at this point. That sort of just very basic facts. No mention of Iraq or anything that kind of spun out of it. It's very just focused on 9/11 and the facts, which is fine for kids. That's completely fine. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a really good read. It had me at almost in tears at one point, and then it pulls back something that you think has happened, and it hasn't happened the way you thought it did, which brings a little bit of joy. So you're not quite a blubbering mess by the end of it. But overall, it's not an easy read, as I keep on repeating. For kids, again, it probably is much easier. But overall, I think it does a decent job of just sticking to the facts, sticking to the timeline, and just delivering generally what it was like on that day. I myself was on the other side of the state. I was in New York City. I was in Buffalo. But a lot of people forget that it was primary day. So working elections. I was working for the county government at the time. We were getting reports of all sorts of issues going on in the area. It was chaotic. It was chaotic in many ways. So yeah, I think the interesting was reading this as an adult of realizing how traumatized like I still am and how much it still impacts me. But yeah, overall it feels like it covers everything pretty well. The art style is like it's not gruesome, it's not scary. It keeps things pretty, pretty. I don't want to say tame. It's not the right way of putting it, but like we're not seeing some of the bloody pictures we saw. It doesn't try to recreate some of the iconic photos, but it does like touch upon some of what we remember. All the people covered in the dust and the silt and the buildings and all that. Like it touches upon a lot of that, but it also doesn't try to ever recreate any of the iconic things that are seared into so many of our minds and memories. Overall, I think this is really good. It says this is for 8 to 12-year-olds, and yeah, I said about 10, so that's about what I thought. For those who might want to know what happened, who maybe are doing projects, something like that, this is, I think, a good read to get them on that journey, and it's also got some suggestions of stuff that they can read after that. So overall, it's another really nice entry in the series, and I'm pretty impressed by this line of graphic novels. I think they do a really good job of condensing history and giving like a good starting point to go learn. Out in shops this week. It's actually in comic shops this week and bookstores, I believe. You can go get it. We got a link beneath this video. We put it in your zip code. Tell if a shop is near you, a comic shop is near you. If you don't have a comic shop near you, we've got links underneath. There'll be affiliate links, so we get a small percentage by doing that. You help support our site, so thank you. And speaking of support, I want to thank Scholastic for hooking us up with the review copy. And of course, thank you all for watching. If you're into graphic novels, if you're into comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.